Good evening. Good evening. The time is 7:36, and I will call the public hearing and regular business meeting of the Mayor and Council for the City of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, May 13th, 2019 to order. We got a full house tonight. It's great to see everybody out. We have our invocation first with Reverend Allison Perlee of Westminster Presbyterian Church. Maybe? Nope. Mr. Howard, would you be willing to give us, can we put you on the spot?
Sure. Could you bow your heads, please? Gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we just give you thanks for this day, and we give you thanks for the opportunity to be here within the city of Snellville to pray over and to just instill the best we can all be through the meeting tonight, and the best we can all be as a city. We continue to grow our city and love our city because it's the people in our city that can do that. We appreciate the teachers that are here tonight, especially our two law enforcement officers that will be receiving special recognition. We ask all this in your Son's precious name when we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. We have the pledge to the flag with Brian Arrington, our Public Information Officer.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brian. We've got quite a few items under our ceremonial matters, which is good. We like to celebrate good news here in the city. First, we have Proclamation 2019-27 in recognition of Lieutenant Ray Gunther. Whereas on April 21st, 2019, Lieutenant Ray Gunther was home off duty when his wife ran in and told him his neighbor had collapsed into the shrubbery. And whereas Lieutenant Gunther immediately ran to his neighbor's aid, finding him unconscious, not breathing, and with no pulse. And whereas Lieutenant Gunther immediately dropped beside his neighbor, even though he has a prosthetic leg, making such a maneuver difficult, and began cardiopulmonary resuscitation as bystanders called for an ambulance and EMS. And whereas Lieutenant Gunther continued with CPR until paramedics and the ambulance arrived to relieve him. And whereas paramedics continued their life-saving efforts, transported Lieutenant Gunther's neighbor to Gwinnett Medical Center where he received medical care. And whereas the life-saving efforts of everyone involved saved Dewey Belcher's life until he unfortunately passed away on April 28, 2019. Because of these actions, I, Barbara Bender, Mayor of the City of Snellville, do hereby join with our City Council and the citizens of Snellville to proclaim that Lieutenant Ray Gunther be recognized for his life-saving efforts and deserves our admiration and respect. Proclaim this 13th day of May, 2019. Now, while Mr. Belcher did pass away a week later, it did offer an opportunity for his family to come in from out of town to be able to pay their last respects to him. And anytime our officers are out there on duty or off duty, honestly, we have the best police department here in the city, the best department, I think, in the state of Georgia. And we would just like to commend Lieutenant Gunther for his actions. If you could come forward. And next, we'd like to recognize another officer who has done a lot this past year in bringing some recognition for the Snellville Police Department by his actions. Proclamation 2019-28 in recognition of Officer Brett Chisholm. Whereas on May 1st, 2019, Officer Brett Chisholm attended the National Crime Enforcement Association annual conference in Overland Park, Kansas, because of his interest in criminal interdiction. And whereas the National Criminal Enforcement Association is an international organization with over 8,000 members throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico, founded in memory of Captain Robbie Bishop of Villa Rica, Georgia Police Department, who was killed while conducting a criminal interdiction stop on Interstate 20 in Georgia. And whereas the NCA recognizes officers engaged in criminal interdiction activities each year by judging the prior year's efforts, tallying the results, and announcing the winner in multiple categories based on type of interdiction and roadway jurisdictions of each candidate. And whereas Officer Chisholm posted his activity for the year 2018, placing him in consideration for recognition. During the year, Officer Chisholm recovered over 100 counterfeit, fraudulent, stolen credit cards, gift cards, and PayPal cards, which constituted the largest recovery of this type in the nation in 2018, receiving the award in this category. And whereas Officer Chisholm submitted his body of work for the year 2018, culminating in the above recovery, drug seizures, arrests, weapons seized, warrants served, and other activities, and based on his accomplishments, received the NCEA Street Level Interdiction Officer of the Year Award. Because of these actions, I, Barbara Bender, Mayor of the City of Snellville, join with our City Council and the citizens of Snellville to proclaim that Officer Brett Chisholm be recognized for his efforts, knowledge, professionalism, and service, and deserves our admiration and respect. Proclaim this 13th day of May 2019. And this award is on top of multiple awards that he's received from the Snellville Police Department, voted on by his peers as well. So please join me in thanking Officer Chisholm. Okay, next we'll have recognition of the 2019 Teachers of the Year. Councilwoman Linsky.
It's an honor to present these proclamations for each individual teacher. Whereas from preschool to high school, devoted teachers prepare all of us for our future. And whereas anyone who works, dreams, imagines, creates, or contributes to society owes thanks to a teacher who has provided help, knowledge, and inspiration along the way. And whereas it is appropriate that teachers be recognized for their dedication and commitment to educating our children. And whereas in 1971, the Georgia Department of Education began the Georgia Teachers of the Year program to spotlight the teaching profession and to recognize the commitment and devotion of outstanding public school teachers at each school. And whereas to be selected as Teacher of the Year, one must be a certified classroom teacher who is an exceptionally dedicated, knowledgeable, and skilled teacher who inspires students of all backgrounds with the ability to learn, who has the respect and admiration of students, parents, and colleagues, and who plays an active role in not just the school, but the community as a whole. Whereas the Teacher of the Year is nominated and selected by their fellow teachers at their local schools as professional recognition of their instructional expertise and dedication for motivating their students to reach their full learning potential. Now therefore be it proclaimed, Barbara Bender, Mayor of the City of Snellville, Georgia, where everybody is proud to be somebody, do hereby join with our City Council and the citizens of Snellville to celebrate our outstanding service of our Teachers of the Year for encouraging students and continuing to be one of Gwinnett County's finest educators. Please come forward while I present your individual proclamations from our cluster schools, including Brookwood, Shiloh, and South Gwinnett. Yes. Broke it. That's on? Okay. So from the Brookwood cluster, Brookwood Elementary School, Lori Bond, mathematics specialist teacher, grades K through 12. Craig Elementary School, Allison Clark, special education teacher, early childhood program, pre-K. From Five Forks Middle School, Keith Oldnow, mathematics teacher, grade 8. Gwynn Oaks Elementary School, Sandra Bratescu, special education teacher, severe, profound, and intellectual disabilities, pre-K. Who couldn't be here tonight. Accepting the award. Head Elementary School, Terry Odom, kindergarten teacher. Couldn't be here tonight as well. It's a busy time of the year for us in education. Okay, so now we'll be moving on to our Shiloh cluster. Annistown Elementary School, Deborah Sears, language arts teacher, grade 3. Centerville Elementary School, Lakeisha Kafunda, second grade teacher. Shiloh High School, Paige Lutez, language arts teacher, grades 9 through 12. Shiloh Middle School, Albert Hicks, JROTC, grades 6 through 8. And now we'll move lastly to our South Gwinnett cluster, my personal favorite. South Gwinnett High School teacher, Britt Elementary School, Denise Brown, 5th grade teacher. McGill Elementary School, Sharisa Kendricks, 4th grade. Norton Elementary School, Michelle Jones, special education teacher, interrelated resource, grades K through 5. Snellville Middle School, Jacqueline Thompson, social studies. Yay, social studies, grade 6. How's baby girl? Okay. And last but not least, again, my personal favorite, South Gwinnett High School, Shelley Collins. Shelley is our dance teacher. Just built up the program. Thank you. Yes, I know you already got one. Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that came in late? Any teachers of the year? We'll give you a tardy pass. You can still come up? No? Okay, well, congratulations to all of our teachers. Thank you.
Okay, next, we'll be honoring our Young Entrepreneur of the Year for 2019. We've got the Entrepreneurship Alliance Young Entrepreneur of the Year of 2019 runner-up for the city of Snellville in recognition of an excellent business idea and pitch by Amaya Jackson, I hope I got that right, from BABE, BABE, by the Shark Tank Community Investor Jury awarded Monday, June 11th, 2008. That
Oh,
can't
no.
be June 11th. We'll have to update this date. This cannot be right. But is Amaya here? Come on forward.
Photo op. Todd's got the photo bomb. You should stand up. That's suitable.
Okay, and then next we have Proclamation 2019-26, City of Snellville Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2019. Whereas small businesses are a key economic driver of the City of Snellville, and whereas the city is encouraging aspiring entrepreneurs to unleash innovative ideas using the marketplace to improve lives and make their mark. And whereas the city partners with South Gwinnett, Brookwood, Grayson Tech, and Shiloh High Schools, and small business owners to create and launch young entrepreneurs. And whereas Samantha Parker, Seeking Through Speaking, made an excellent pitch in her business plan at the 2019 Shark Tanks. And whereas Samantha Parker was nominated for City of Snellville Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2019 by a jury of local business owners and selected as the young business most likely to succeed by a leads selection committee. And whereas Snellville is an original entrepreneur city founded by two young entrepreneurs, Joseph Snell and James Sawyer, the first two merchants in southern Gwinnett County. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and city council of the city of Snellville recognize and applaud Samantha Parker for creating and launching Seeking Through Speaking. We encourage Samantha to continue her entrepreneurial endeavor and wish her the greatest success. Samantha, if you can come forward.
I have another copy.
Congratulations to our entrepreneurs. The Shark Tank is a program the city's been doing for 5 years, 8 years. And it is done by jury. Business owners can volunteer to be on the jury. You make a contribution to the jury pool, and then they hear the presentations from all of the different businesses. And I sat in on it last year, and just phenomenal, the innovation these kids are coming up with. And the level of maturity and the development that they've put into these businesses is really awesome and inspiring to see. So if you haven't done that before, think about it for next year. Okay, and then finally, under ceremonial matters, we have the induction of our Snellville Youth Commission members, and I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Christy Linsky.
On behalf, I just turned myself off, didn't I? On behalf of City Council, I would like to introduce our new members of the Snellville Youth Commission. These students will serve as our youth ambassadors who will represent our city and articulate the interests and needs of youth in the greater Snellville community. Will the following students please come forward so that they may take their oath? Bemi Adaliye. Josiah Burno. Shantia Fletcher. Amira Silas. And Ari Sneed.
If you'll raise your right hand, and I'll say I and state your name, and just repeat your name in there. I state your name.
I, Josiah Burno,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully perform the duties
that I will faithfully perform the duties
of the Snellville Youth Commission
of the Snellville Youth Commission
of this city,
of this city,
and that I will support and defend the charter thereof,
and that I will support and defend the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
as well as the Constitution and the laws of the state of Georgia
and of the United States of America.
and of the United States of America.
Congratulations, all of you.
Thank
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Yes.
Did you, where's Brian? Did you get a picture? Okay. It is a school night. 8 o'clock bedtime. Okay, next we'll move on to the minutes. Is there a motion on the minutes from April 22nd?
Motion to approve the minutes of the April 22nd, 2019 meetings.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Okay, we have no other invited guests. Committee and department reports. We have Planning Commission, Mr. Bill Kingsbury, for an update.
Good evening. We had 4 items on our agenda for our meeting on the 23rd. The first item was to revise the text of the zoning ordinance as relates to the hotels, motels, and extended stay hotels. We passed this without any opposition, and we only had one comment, and that is as it relates to the hangers to be placed on the cars, with the idea that this might not be appropriate for places like the Hampton Inn and Lakita Suites. Our next item is actually 2 items. An application to amend the Snellville 2040 Comprehensive Future Land Use Plan from park recreation to residential low density. This is LUP 1901. This passed 3-1. The next item, as it relates to that, RZ 1902, was an official map amendment from light manufacturing and single-family residential districts to single-family housing for older persons. This was for a 257 lot age-restricted and single-family detached subdivision on approximately 75 acres located near the intersection of Rosebud and Temple Johnson. This is part of the Summit Chase Golf Course. The request for the zone change failed by a tie vote of 2-2. The reason given for the no votes was that it did not consider low income or lower cost housing. The next item was CUP 1902. This was a request by the Mount Zion Baptist Church on Scenic Highway, really for the purpose of allowing them to put up a new sign. They had to have basically a conditional use. They had not had one, although, as we all know, they've been there for years and years and years. So that was passed. The last item was the rezoning. It's RZ 1903 from general business district to a new general business district with conditions and variance. This is for part of a lot on Scenic Highway, about 2 lots from our adjoining lot, really, of where the Chevron gas station used to be. The vote was 3-1, with the person opposing it stating that he was concerned that this area is to become more pedestrian friendly, and we do not need additional automobile uses in that area. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Bill Kingsbury? Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Oh, question.
For the LUP 1901, you said the reasoning was something about low-income housing. Explain that more in detail, like what the argument was.
Basically, it is that property is to be zoned or is up for zoning for senior housing, and it'll be upper end. And the opposition was saying, hey, we need more mix of housing. As our planning director pointed out, that we have approved other projects for lower income, such as the Methodist Church, the acreage that they've been approved for that, as well as the property now under construction on 78 as you go to Loganville. Price point is approximately 300,000 to 500,000. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsbury. Next, we'll have, move on to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion? Mr. Manuel?
Motion to approve the agenda with the following changes. Item C, under new business, should be changed to purchase of SunTrust property. We also need to add item G, which is a motion to approve the final bond numbers as presented by Bill Camp, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the agenda with 2 amendments. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Now we'll move into, sorry, just turned off my microphone. We'll move into our public hearing. We have 4 items that are first readings. For anyone that's new in the audience, a first reading, the city requires 2 readings anytime we do an ordinance change or a rezoning. This first reading is just a procedural reading, and we will just waive that reading and move it to our next June 10th agenda. So the first reading, ZOA 19-03, is consideration and recommendation on a text amendment to Section 6.2, definitions, in Section 9.1, BG District Regulations of the Snellville Zoning Ordinance, and Article 6, Motels, Hotels, and Extended Stay Hotels of Chapter 22, Businesses of the City Code of Snellville. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading of, I'm sorry. Motion to postpone the first reading of ZOA 19-03 as described by Mayor Barbara Bender, and place it on the agenda of the June 10th meeting.
Okay, there's a motion to postpone this to June 10th. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We're postponing this as some ordinance updates for extended stay hotels, and there were some issues that came up in the work session that require a little bit more research. We're not really under a huge time crunch on this, so we're just giving it a little more time to make sure we get it right. We have item B, first reading LUP 19-01, RZ 19-02, consideration and recommendation on applications by Patrick Malloy Companies, LLC, and Summit Chase Country Club, Inc., to amend the Snellville 2040 Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map from park recreation to residential low density, official zoning map amendment from LM Light Manufacturing District, and RS 180 Single Family Residence District to RHOP 55 SF Single Family Housing for Older Persons District, and variances for 257 lot age restricted single family detached subdivision on a 75.288 acre site located near the intersection of Rosebud Road and Temple Johnson Road in Loganville, Georgia. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading on LUP 19-01, RZ 19-02, to place it on the agenda for June 10th for a second reading and public hearing.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. It is 6 in favor and none opposed. Item C, we have first reading CUP 19-02, consideration and recommendation on application by Mount Zion Baptist Church of Snellville for a conditional special use permit for a place of worship for a 16.06 acre tract of the 22.75 acre church campus zoned RS 180 Single Family Residence District at 1525 Scenic Highway, Snellville, Georgia. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive first reading on CUP 1902 and place it on the June 10th agenda for public hearing and a second reading.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Item D, we have first reading RZ 19-03, consideration and recommendation on application by Swope and Thomas Investment Group LLC and Jimmy Johnson requesting to rezone the property from BG General Business District to BG General Business District with conditions and variances for a .612 acre tract 3 of the .65 acre property at 2180 Scenic Highway, Snellville, Georgia. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive RZ 19-03 and place it on the June 10th, 2019 agenda for a second reading and public hearing.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and a second. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, we have item E, which is to provide citizens the opportunity to submit written and oral comments on the proposed operating budget of the City of Snellville for fiscal year 2019-2020. Mr. Sanders.
Mayor and council and members of the public, it's always a pleasure to share information on important public documents, and I'm not sure anything is more important than our annual operating budget. We started advertising several weeks ago the availability of the budget, and several members of the public have availed themselves of getting copies of that. I don't know if anybody's here to comment or ask questions tonight or not, but this is a public hearing for that purpose. And I just wanted to hit a couple of the higher points of the proposed FY20 budget for the city. This is a balanced budget, which is legally mandated in the amount of $12,839,672. It is actually the increase, the net FY20 increase is right about 4.5%. Last year, our increase was about 4.6. The increase is a little lower this year. There are several non-discretionary reasons for that increase. Some of our facilities are getting older. We've put an extra $30,000 in for building maintenance. And we've got a few notes up here that you could follow by with. Sanitation, we were notified a couple weeks ago that there's been a landfill increase. It's probably going to necessitate a $30,000 increase in our annual sanitation contract. And we also have the need for property acquisition. A home purchase, which is located in a subdivision in the city, that's going to cost about $250,000, but it is absolutely necessary to provide, if necessary, an emergency exit for about 110 homeowners in the Timberline Trace subdivision. So those are things that had to go in the budget. We cannot do without those. Capital needs are being met in this budget, almost $700,000 for street resurfacing, as well as stormwater repairs in the amount of almost $800,000. We're going to have a special report on both of those items, probably in the June, maybe July meeting from our Public Works Department, explaining exactly why those numbers and those dollars are absolutely necessary. Probably the best news in our Mayor and Council planning retreat earlier this year, one of the goals that was set by the Mayor and Council was to be more competitive with when it came to salaries. We did a very comprehensive salary study, and I think we've met competitive salaries in every city position in this budget. I think city employees and hopefully mayor and council will be happy with that proposal. Several positive aspects of the revenue stream in the budget this year. Our occupation tax is up for the 6th year in a row. That means that the small business, we had the young entrepreneurs today who are interested in starting a small business. Businesses are doing well in Snellville. The economy is doing well. And I have to give a shout out to our code enforcement staff, Billy Wayne Brown, who's in the back of the council chambers, and Johnny Green. They have done a great job working to make sure those collections stay up. They do it in the right manner, and they communicate very well with our businesses. Building permits, we aren't going to meet the FY18 record where our building permits increased by 400%, but they are up over, we are proposing them to be up over the current year. And when it comes to our police department, there's no doubt they are out there working and showing a good work ethic and that shows through our fines and forfeitures. So those are some of the high points of the budget, and I invite questions and any input.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Now, this is a public hearing, so any member of the public is welcome to come forward, state your name and address for the record, and make a comment on the budget. Or you may also submit any comments by paper as well. Nothing? Seeing no comment. Now, the budget is available. If anyone would like to see a copy of it, just contact Mr. Sanders and he can get that for you. Seeing them, we will close the public hearing and move along. Okay, we have nothing under our consent agenda. Under old business, I have a couple of nominations for the Planning Commission. I wish to nominate Rachel Barnes to fill Planning Commission Post 2 with the termination date of June 30th, 2020. That is my nomination. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Is Ms. Barnes here tonight? Just come on forward and we'll administer the oath of office. And then before I do that as well, I'll go ahead and nominate and ask for confirmation of Albert Henry to fill Planning Commission Post 3 with a term expiration of June 30th, 2020. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. And these two candidates here will now fill out our Planning Commission. We've been running a few short for the last couple of months here. I, Rachel Barnes, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Georgia, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Snellville, and that I will, to the best of my ability, faithfully perform the duties of the Planning Commission during my continuance therein. So help me God. Congratulations. solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Snellville,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Snellville,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
faithfully perform the duties of the Planning Commission
faithfully perform the duties of the Planning Commission
during my continuance therein.
during my continuance therein.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Under new business, we have item A, a first reading ordinance 2019-08, adoption of the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for each fund of the City of Snellville, Georgia, appropriating the amount shown in each budget as expenditures expenses, adopting the several items of revenue anticipations, and prohibiting expenditures or expenses from exceeding the actual funding available. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading on ordinance 2019-08 to place on the agenda for June 10th for a second reading and public hearing.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. And I will point out for the public, this is just the first hearing. We will be continuing to review the budget for the final adoption on June 10th. So if anyone does review the budget and have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact any of us so that we can address it. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, we have item B, my nomination and ask for confirmation of Jamie Terr as Associate Judge for the Municipal Court for a term of 3 months. That's my nomination. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 5 in favor. Any opposed? None opposed. Any abstaining? 1 abstention. And then we have the oath of office from Judge Terr here. You come forward. Getting my exercise tonight. I, Jamie Terr. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties of the Associate Judge of Municipal Court.
That I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties of the Associate Judge of the Municipal Court
Of the City of Snellville.
of the City of Snellville
To the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability
And without fear, favor, or partiality.
and without fear, favor, or partiality,
Perform the duties.
and
And that I will support and defend the Charter and ordinances thereof.
that I will support and defend the Charter and ordinances thereof,
As well as the Constitution and laws of the State of Georgia.
as well as the Constitution and laws of the State of Georgia
And of the United States of America.
and of the United States of America. Thank you.
Got item C, consideration and action on intergovernmental agreement with the Downtown Development Authority for the purchase of SunTrust Bank property. Mr. Powell will explain this.
This is not a new matter before the council in terms of the purchasing of the SunTrust Bank building. That has already been approved. But this is the relationship between the purchasing agent, which is the Downtown Development Authority, and the city council in the city, so that that they jointly monitor the property, and there is a control on sale of the property that comes back to city council for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. With that, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Downtown Development Authority for the purchase of the SunTrust Bank property.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, we have item D, consideration and action on approval of nuisance abatement of 2643 Abilene Trail. Mr. Thompson, did you want to say something about this?
This is basically just permission to move forward with the abatement process, which both of these houses that will come up have been in non-compliance with several structural issues and maintenance issues that have lingered on more than 6 to 8 months at this time. This just gives the planning department and the legal department the authority to move forward to abate the issues through the judicial process.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. With that, is there a motion?
Motion to approve nuisance abatement of 2643 Abilene Trail.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. And we have the same type action on consideration and action on approval of nuisance abatement of 2136 Tanglewood Drive. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the nuisance abatement of 2136 Tanglewood Drive.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, we have one more nomination for former Mayor Emmett Clower to our Downtown Development Authority for Post 1 with a term expiration date of June 30th, 2022. That's my nomination. With that, ask for council's confirmation. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Mr. Clower, you're back in the fray. If you'll come forward, we'll do the oath of office.
Does this hurt?
This part will be painless. It's the rest of it that comes later. I, W. Emmett Clower,
I, W. Flower,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully perform the duties of Downtown Development Authority, Post 1,
that I will faithfully perform the duties of Downtown Development Post 1
of this city,
the city,
and that I will support and defend the charter thereof,
and I will support and defend the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
and of the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
I have gotten a workout tonight. Okay, next we have item G, consideration and action on supplemental bond resolution. This is for the cobblestone bond project. Is there a motion? Mr. Powell's going to explain this.
This is, we've heard it 3 times tonight, and your DDA met at 4:30 to go over these same numbers. And really, you're being asked to approve some numbers on a loan. It's really a lot more than that. This is sort of your city's report card from the bond agencies in New York and from investors all around the country. So the interest rate on the cobblestone purchase is 3.708% on average. When it was presented at both of the meetings earlier, they compared that over the life of these loans, which will be through 2039, to be within a point or 2 points of the rate that they pay the federal government long-term bonds. The other thing is they compared it to a bond issue that was just done in another city under the same circumstances. These are not tax-exempt bonds, they're taxable bonds, that you ended up better off by 2 basis points from a competitive further north county doing the same type of financing. And what that really does is you've got a bond rating of a AA2, which is 3rd in rank in terms of superiority, which tells you that your city administration, your employees are doing excellent work in running your city in a really financially successful way. You know, it's a third party saying these people are really financially doing their job extremely well. That's the way you get that rating. With that competitive, you get a low rate. The total loan will be $4,020,000. It can be paid off as early as, 7 years. That's all right, 7 years. And so if they want to pay it off early, so it's $4,020,000 and an interest rate of 3.708%. And Bond Council just asked that the Downtown Development Authority approve that terms earlier today. They asked for the mayor and council to accept those numbers and rates.
So the city council had already approved for the bond issue several months ago, so all we're doing tonight is just agreeing to these final numbers. So with that, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve the bond numbers as they were presented to us by Bill Camp in our work session.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We made it to the end of our agenda. So we'll go with council reports. Councilmember Warner.
Well, now that I know my mic works, I want to thank everybody who came out for Snellville Days. It was the first Snellville Days since I've been back on council. I really enjoyed getting to see a lot of new smiling faces and having folks come up and say, hey, I voted for you. I think more people said, hey, I voted for you than actually voted in the whole election. But I'll take it. I'll take it. And they've all been calling me and sending me messages, and gosh, I appreciate it. And I want to make a shout out to all the moms. I know we're a little late for Mother's Day, but thank you for all you do. I'm without a mom now. I lost my last mom last month, so it's a club. So if there's any moms out there looking for, for older children, Marilyn, you're signed up. And thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. It means a lot to all of us that you care enough that you showed up. So thank you.
Councilmember Marmol.
No report.
Councilwoman Linsky.
I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize the additional Teachers of the Year in the local community that were not able to attend tonight, in addition to some of the names I've called already. Stephen Beal from Brookwood High School. Debbie Avis from Cruz Middle School. Anderson Livesey Elementary School, Ashley Joseph. Partee Elementary School, Aquanda Barber. Shiloh Elementary School, Carrie Nemitz. Grace Snell Middle School, Evan Korth. And Rosebud Elementary School, Leanne Vo. And again, hang in there with us for another week. School's almost out.
Councilwoman Schultz?
I just want to very quickly give a shout out to the greenhouse team for the community garden. They cultivated a lot of plants that they brought to Snellville Days. They raised over $1,200 for the community garden at Snellville Days, and the first priority for the money they raised will be greenhouse needs. But I'm just really proud of all the work they put into carefully tending those plants, and then there's Snellville Days sales.
That's awesome. Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel?
I know nobody is really concerned about traffic because it's not a problem, but just in case you are, May 20th at Snellville First Baptist Church, 5 p.m., there's a meeting about the intersection at 78 and 124. You can get some additional information. May 25th, Debbie Heath has taken it upon herself to organize a Snellville Clean and Proud cleanup on Skyland Road. So if anybody wants to help pick up some litter, that's available. And the city will again go out and clean up Oak Road on June 8th. So if you're in need of litter, you can come get some and help us clean up the streets.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel. And that ends the council reports. And in the mayor's report, I had the opportunity last Sunday to give a keynote address to the Indo-American Press Club. They had approached me, and I went to their event. It was their inauguration and induction ceremony for their new officers of their club. It was held over at the Hilton Inn over at Peachtree Industrial, and it was quite an event. They gave out some journalism awards, but they had journalists from all over the country, most of them Indian Americans, but not all, and some from Canada as well. So it was a very interesting evening. I was there along with special guest Chief Justice George Hutchinson from Gwinnett County Superior Court and the consulate for India. And I will never get her name right, but she was there as well. So it was a very interesting evening, and I appreciate the request to attend that event. Other than that, I've just been getting over an upper respiratory infection, so, but I have sanitized, so anybody's hands I shook tonight, I've been keeping my sanitizer handy here, so I shouldn't be contagious anymore. With that, that'll end the mayor's report, and we will open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to say anything, please come forward and give your name and address for the record.
Tricia Rollins, 2088 Harbor Oaks Drive. I am proud of my city. I'm also proud of our police department. Wednesday, May the 15th is National Police Memorial Day. Am I got it right? This is the police week right now that we're in. I just want to say that since the inception of SNAP, the Snellville Neighborhood Alert Program, we have tripled the calls that our police department takes, and I have to say thank you, that they're really looking out for us. 2 officers that get overlooked, and one of them spoke at our SNAP meeting this month, is Officer Green of the Code Enforcement. I know his ears have been burning this week because what he taught us at this meeting has doubled the workload for Officer Brown and for Officer Green. So I want them to be recognized and supported by the city. While we're looking forward to a new town center, let's not forget the old residents that are out here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rollins.
Kurt Schultz, 2027 Tanglewood Drive. golly, 2 compliments in a row for the city and the council. Anyway, I wanted to thank the mayor and the council, planning department, legal department, everyone in the city for looking out for our citizens. First off, the major improvements on the Shell station at the corner of Oak and 124. That has been an eyesore for years and years and years, and they have made major improvements there, and want to thank you for getting behind that and getting something done. And the 2 abatements done tonight, this does nothing but good for our city, keeping everything looking good. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Anyone else?
I know.
Make your way to the podium.
Kathy Emanuel, 1313 Temple Johnson Road. I have 2 items. This Thursday, all day long, Give Hunger the Boot is having a fundraiser at Mellow Mushroom. 10% of all sales will go to Give Hunger the Boot and naturally directly onto the Southeastern Gwinnett Co-op. So please come by, have a pizza, have a sandwich, whatever. We'll be there from about 6 o'clock till about 8 o'clock. We will have some raffle prizes and some drawings. So please come out and help us support the Southeastern Gwinnett Co-op. Number 2. It's that time of year again. June the 4th, on the green, we will be holding Snellville Public Safety Night. I hope most of you are aware of what that is, but it will be going on from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Snellville Town Green. It's going to be another excellent year. We have a lot of exhibitors coming out to talk about personal safety, home security, pet security, financial security. Our own police department will be out there in force with all their latest equipment to show people, and obviously you'll have an opportunity to speak to any officer you would like. We also are going to emergencies, no emergencies, and they'll be there. We will have a life flight helicopter. Gwinnett Police the Gwinnett Police are going to be bringing out some of their bomb equipment and some of their big command center, and Lawrenceville Police Department is also going to bring out some of their equipment. So you can go in, climb around, see what they've got. It's really a nice event. It'll be from 6 to 8. And I've left flyers on the back table there if anybody wants anything. So please come out, both those events. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Emanuel.
Marcy Ferris, 1749 Ridgedale Drive. I just want to remind everybody that the intersection of 78 and 124 is going to be closed down Friday night from 10 to 6. So stay away from the area.
Friday night at 10 o'clock, everybody should be home in bed. But Marcy is right, and please also continue to watch our Facebook page, and on our website, we do have a tab for the 78-124 intersection updates. We get those updates directly from the contractor, so they let us know in a weekly meeting when things are going to start moving around or anticipated lane changes, or not changes, but closures as well, to keep the traveling public informed. So just keep an eye out on the Facebook page or on the website so that you can stay up to date there. But that signal bridge is going up Friday night, so everybody will now know what those concrete pylons are for that are being built. It is not a bridge. I have heard that the last couple of weeks, that someone thinks a bridge is being built. But it is just it's a structure that will go catty-corner across the intersection to hold all of the traffic signals there. I think they initially were going to put wires across the intersection, and we were trying to get mast arms, and the DOT wouldn't allow the mast arms because the intersection's too big. So this was the next option, and I think it'll be a lot more attractive than having cables and wires running across the intersection. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is 6-0. We're out. Thank you all for coming out.